Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be talking to you about football in Sudan. The Sudan national team represents Sudan in international football and is controlled by the Sudan Football Association, the governing body for football in Sudan. Its home ground is Khartoum Stadium in the capital city, Khartoum. In 1957, a brief history actually, it was one of the three teams to participate in the inaugural African Cup of Nations, the other two being Egypt and Ethiopia. Sudan is one of the oldest teams in Africa and has a rich history, especially in the 1950s and up to the 70s. They won the 1970 Africa Cup of Nations as hosts with Mustafa Azari as their best player back in the day. After beating Ethiopia 3-0 and a 1-0 defeat against Ivory Coast, they secured a place in the semi-final by beating Cameroon 2-1, and they overcame Egypt 2-1 after extra time in the semi-final. They won 1-0 against Ghana in the final to become African champions. Since Since then, Sudan has witnessed a significant decline and deterioration in football at, at the country's expense. Thus, country is unable to repeat the feats they used to achieve like before. Okay, now let's get into the details of the history, how Sudan began football and how they started, how they continued, and where they are today. Now, Sudan started as a giant in football, African football. But as time went on, they lost what made them the giants of Africa in terms of football. So let's dive in. The Sudan Football Association was founded in 1936 and thus it became one of the oldest football associations to exist in Africa. However, before the foundation of the Football Association, Sudan had started experiencing football, which was brought to the country by British colonizers since early 20th century via Egypt. Some of the finest Sudanese clubs were also founded at that time, including Al Hilal Omdurman, which led to the popularization of football in Sudan. The Khartoum League became the first national league to be played in Sudan, laying ground for the future development of Sudanese football. Being experienced early with football, Sudan was quick to affiliate itself with FIFA, the Federal International Football Association, in 1948, and soon after, the Sudanese officials were instrumental, along with European and South African, also Egyptian counterparts, forming the Confederation of African Football (CAF) in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum in 1957. With the retirement of significant number of Sudanese football stars at the time, the national team of Sudan deteriorated. Sudan participated in 1972 and 1976 editions of the African Cup of Nations, but Sudan wasn't able to get out of the group stage. At the time, Sudan was plagued by the first and civil war that occurred in the country, and that led to football in the country being largely unable to retain its status, and they were also unable to retain being the African giants of football. On 9th of September 2007, Sudan managed to achieve a historic feat, beating African powerhouse and World Cup participants Tunisia 3-2 at home, sealing Sudan's position as top finisher in the 2008 African Cup of Nations qualification group 4. This meant that Sudan had finally returned to the AFCON after 32 years, and this was seen as a major success for them. In the 2008 African Cup of Nations, their first in 32 years, Sudan was grouped in Group C, which they shared with Egypt, Cameroon, and Zambia. With an entirely inexperienced squad, Sudan lost all their competitive games in the group and made them finish bottom of the group, which means that they were unable to get out of the group stage to qualify for the next round. So football in Sudan kept declining until present day, and today Sudan have lost their title as the African giants of football. And there we have it, guys. This is where I'll be stopping in this video. If you want to know more about Sudanese football, and where they are today, you can check out Wikipedia. You'll find out more about them. You can also check out other sites online to make sure you get more information about Sudanese football. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.